Hi everyone, it's Ailin here, back again for another video. Today I thought it'd be really cool if we did a topic video because I haven't done a topic video in quite a long time on this channel. It's really been about the healing of different client cases that we've had recently here, spiritual healing, as well as Q&A videos and iridology videos and the like. So I thought that we'd throw in a topic video in here because very recently I received a question on our YouTube channel, and I thought it'd be great to discuss just in a video on its own rather than just thrown into a Q&A video. So yeah, this is very concerning, this topic, and it has to do with the kidneys and kidney failure. In today's society, chronic kidneys are everywhere. Chronic adrenals on top of them are everywhere. And they're the main cause of so many health issues in today's day and age, as well as the major cause of death, sadly, all around the world, kidney disease and kidney failure. So I thought we'd discuss this today. Someone had put in this question underneath one of our videos, and I wanted to read it to you guys so that we can start this discussion today. Okay, so this is what they said. Please make a video for end-stage kidney failure, not producing urine. I went to the emergency room. My creatinine went up to 17. I'm end-stage renal failure. I'm detoxing to get my kidneys back. So thanks for this video. I've been eating nothing but citrus fruits since the 9th of this month. I will not stop until my body is ready. Okay, so for those new to my channel and to detoxification, I think it's best that we discuss the basics of detoxification because therein lies the answer to why disease conditions befall the body, right? So if you think about it in this way, the reason why organs and glands fail in the body is due to acidosis, the breakdown of tissue, the degeneration of tissue, in this case being the kidneys, right? Kidney failure, kidney deterioration. This is a condition that has been happening and occurring for a long period of time. It's not something that just happens from one day to the next. These conditions are usually created in the body due to the overabundance, usually of eating protein foods, acidic foods, grains, processed foods, just foods that really strip the kidneys, the magnesium, the calcium from out of the tissues due to the presence of phosphorus in things like meats and animal products, especially phytic acids in beans. So that notion of you need protein in order to live a healthy lifestyle, that is very far-fetched when it comes to detoxification and when it comes to the health of the human body in general. As Homo sapiens, we actually do not need protein foods. What we need is amino acids from all the foods that we eat, which are found in all the foods that we eat and are especially abundant in fruits and vegetables, right? So that's what we always see. And there have been plenty of studies done on this. The fact that kidney disease, kidney deterioration, and colon deterioration and colon cancers, things that are of the chronic and degenerative stages, are created from eating animal products, and even with the clients that I've personally worked with, and even unfortunately family members that I've seen suffer with our renal failure, that's always the case. These people usually do not have the healthiest of diets, and they usually have been eating and consuming proteins and animal products for all of their years of life, right? So that's the first thing that needed to be addressed when it comes to this topic, is proteins absolutely destroy the kidneys. Now, the second reason for kidney destruction and kidney failure is due to the fact that the lymph system, the main sewer system of the body, has backed up. So sometimes I usually see the removal of lymph nodes being the case. If someone has had their lymph nodes removed due to lymph node swelling, due to infections, due to cancer, due to any of those reasons or many more, any reasons that the doctors choose to remove the lymph nodes, nowadays, that can cause kidney deterioration. And here's the reason why. Because the lymph nodes actually possess within them macrophages and beneficial bacteria that help buffer the acids in the lymph system before sending it to the kidneys to be removed. So this creates a burn if you don't have lymph nodes, if you're missing many lymph nodes, or get this, or even if you've had a history of antibiotic usage or taking a lot of antibiotics or medications that contain sulfur compounds in them, that also completely destroys the beneficial bacteria in the lymph nodes themselves. So that can also create, you know, burning urine, just damage like UTIs or lower back pain, that's kidney pain always, things like that can be created. So over time, the acids going through those kidney channels burn up the kidneys, burn up the tissue. At the same time, acidosis itself that exists within the lymphatic system, if you're not moving and pumping the lymph system, the main sewer system of the body, with the hydrating fruits, with an astringent diet, with raw foods, and if your diet is predominantly cooked food, which, let's be real, in our society, not many people, you know, many of us were born as raw foodists or even vegan or even vegetarian, you know, we've pretty much grown up on fast foods and processed foods because our parents just didn't know any better, right? But even older people of the older generation, they've predominantly ate cooked foods, you know, which are still acidic in and of themselves, right? And other things like neurotoxicity, pollution, vaccinations, all those things have acidosis within them and affect and deteriorate the tissues of our bodies. But essentially, you want this lymph system to move, because if the lymphatic system becomes stagnant within the kidneys themselves, then that's when tissue breakdown can occur as well. So those are the main reasons why kidney failure occurs. Sometimes there's a genetic past, genetic history why kidney failure occurs as well. Many people are born with weak kidneys and adrenal glands. Like I said before, it's a very classic sign in the iris that I see when clients come to me, especially, you know, nowadays, this generation, you know, they have the setup for kidney weakness really badly, unfortunately. I'm always seeing weak kidneys and adrenals, but you know, that's why I said, like, in people that are much older that we see kidney failure occurring, renal failure occurring, it's due to the fact that it's been an overtime thing, an overconsumption of proteins over decades and decades. So yeah, so that covers that topic. Genetic weaknesses is what we often see, but oftentimes it does create decades and decades of consuming the wrong acid-forming foods in order to create kidney weakness such as this, to where you do reach that end stage of kidney failure. So let's break down this question a bit more and this person's concerns a bit more. So they're not producing urine. If you're not producing urine, you know that you have reached the level of kidney deterioration within the medulla or within the cortex of the kidneys. You know, all the tubules, all the nephrons within the kidney organs themselves have reached a point to where they're not functioning anymore to create urine. So that's a big concern. The creatinine went up to 17. That's dangerously high. Normal creatinine should be around 0.3 and 0.4 in a healthy body with healthy kidneys, right? 0.5 and 0.6 is kind of pushing it. You're already like almost creeping up to the beginning of kidney inflammation and breaking down of kidneys. 0.7, 0.8, that's where you're reaching it. That's where you're reaching those levels. But then again, I would say that blood tests and blood results usually aren't extremely accurate. You can really see the level of kidney weakness and kidney breakdown within the irises, because I have seen people that have had normal creatinine levels and have had kidney failure before, you know. So it's not always corresponding line in line, but it can give us a bit of a clue of what's happening within the body. But you really have to bring that creatinine down, definitely. I'm at the end of the stage of renal failure. Okay, I'm detoxing to get my kidneys back. I've been eating nothing but citrus fruits since the 9th of this month. Okay, so citrus foods, they're really good. They're astringent and pulling on the lymphatic system. But for this case, I would definitely recommend something much more soothing to the kidneys. So I think that for your case, something like melons, you know, I'm eating a cantaloupe right now, but melons, especially watermelon, are fantastic and soothing to the kidneys in bringing down acidosis in the body. So watermelons are especially especially wonderful for healing the kidneys, and I've seen that time and time again within people. So watermelons. I would also say focus on like subacid to sweet fruits, so things like apples or pears or grapes, or you know, things of that nature, much more than citrus foods, because citrus can be quite aggressive, and in this case you just want something soothing to the kidneys and the kidney channels. Same thing goes for herbs. I would definitely recommend things like kidney herbs or soothing herbs just from the get-go, so things like parsley or horsetail or nettle, and also soothing herbs like marshmallow root and slippery elm are fantastic for the kidneys themselves and for reducing that acidosis within there. So yeah, but that's really good that you're at least following that raw food mentality, that raw food diet. I would just definitely include melons and subacid fruits more so than citrus fruits, because you'll tend to find more healing there with that. Now, I'm not sure if this person how often they're doing dialysis, if they're doing dialysis at this point, whether they're at the hospital, you know, on with observation 24/7. I'm not sure, but I'll talk about all the topics when it comes to kidney failure, right? So for people that have reached the end stage of kidney failure, usually what is recommended is one of two options: dialysis, or you need a kidney transplant, you know. And obviously kidneys are not easy to come by, you know, there's usually a waiting list. So dialysis is always what's recommended. However, dialysis is usually recommended too early, too soon. I would not recommend dialysis to people that can still produce urine, you know. If you're not producing urine, you'll need a way to clean the blood. That's understandable. But the longer people stay on dialysis, which dialysis completely strips the blood of nutrients, so it's very harmful, very acidic over time. Acids are used to strip the blood, and it can definitely damage the body, and it's just a big mess, you know. It falls in line with chemotherapy and radiation and all of the tools that the medical industry uses, because they don't know any other way. They don't know what the root cause is of diseases, so that's just the tools that they have, right? So with dialysis, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like you need it for emergency purposes, but the longer you stay on it, then you immediately start to lose your ability to self-urinate. That can become a problem, because the whole scope of detoxification is to get the kidneys to filter, out waste, you know, acids, obstructions, mucus, and the like, chemical toxicity, all of that. The kidneys are the main channel of elimination of the body. Through the lymphatic system, it removes all the waste from the body. So if you get someone that loses their ability to urinate, then how can you expect them to filter, right? So if you're on dialysis, if the person that I'm speaking about is on dialysis, you know, you first need to try and get your kidneys to produce urine again, you know, and that can be quite a journey, because it depends on how long you've been on dialysis for, how many treatments you've received of that, and it can be a long journey. But that's your main focus right now, is just to get yourself to self-urinate again and produce urine on your own again. After that, and that'll usually correspond with the creatinine levels coming down, you know. If they were at 17, they're probably down by now, and what we usually see is the creatinine numbers will start to go down as your kidneys start to heal, and then you'll be able to produce urine again on your own, right? So you'll want to measure that out. After that, then that's when you can really start focusing on kidney filtration and check to see if you're filtering from your kidneys. That'll look like cloudy urine or sediment in your urine, things like that. So for those new to my channel, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say kidney filtration, then you'll want to go to my website, and I have an article discussing kidney filtration and how to get your kidneys to filter that way. But it's extremely important when healing any type of disease in the body, especially chronic and degenerative illnesses. But you know, the kidneys are our main organs organs of survival, you know, just like the heart, just like the brain, the kidneys are vital, you know. The kidneys are the sodium potassium pumps of the body. They help to clean the blood. They're the main elimination channel of the body, you know. So whenever they start to disrupt, then potassium levels, sodium levels, lymphedema can occur in the body, swelling, many dangerous things can occur in the body. High blood pressure, heart failure, diabetes, neuropathy, gangrene, all those things can occur just from having kidney failure, you know. So it's extremely important to address this issue, and time is of the essence. Now, when you guys writing your questions to me, if it's something serious like this, don't wait for me to make a video. Definitely email me right away, because I can reach out to you guys in email much more quickly than I am able to, you know, because with the production of these videos, I do these videos when I have the time, you know, but I am answering emails every single day. So definitely reach out to me in email if you are someone that has a serious issue like this. But I definitely wanted to make this video just for anyone out there, this person included, that's suffering with this disease, because it is very serious, right? So yeah, so that thing with dialysis, you never want to stay on it for too long. It's very stripping. Now, for those that are in dialysis and how to handle that, you always want to, after a dialysis session, you always want to bring nutrition into the blood aggressively after it's being stripped, right? So I personally recommend the Superfood Blend #2 formula, because it's very nutritive in all the herbs and all the berries in there, you know. You have kelp, you have berries, you have all of the different herbs that are the most nutritionally high in nature, alfalfa, things like that. And that's what you're going to want to keep the vitality in your blood up, you know, because even that can bring the body into a level of disease through the dialysis, right? Now, this is a concern that a lot of people have if they are on dialysis, or if they are dealing with kidney failure. The doctors and the dietitians in the hospitals will usually recommend a diet low in potassium. Now, unfortunately, no matter what they say, that cannot be further from the truth. You cannot heal your kidney weaknesses with a low potassium diet. It is not possible, because true healing lies in the fruits and the greens, but predominantly fruits. And it's very difficult to avoid potassium rich foods, you know. So I'm glad that this person, you know, whoever you are, you're eating oranges. Oranges are high in potassium. So clearly you don't, at this point, you understand detox. And you know that you have to do whatever it takes, you know. So like, I know people that are worried about the high levels of potassium because, you know, the kidneys are not able to control and regulate the homeostasis of potassium in the blood. But in this case, you kind of have to work with you know, things like potassium binders that they may recommend while you're on dialysis, right? So that's what you just need to do. Forget about the potassium levels in fruits or raw foods, and just go after the lymph system and go after, you know, regenerating the kidneys in that way. Because even if you try and do low potassium foods, they're not going to have the energetics, the magnetics, the astringency to clear all these wastes from out of the kidneys, the acids from out of the kidneys, and to be able to regenerate the tissue again. Not possible. So you kind of have to work with what you have there. So, and also in this case, you know, when it comes to herbs, and when it comes to the formulas, you also have to think, okay, so what's bringing down the kidneys? What has stopped kidney filtration? Because at some point, kidney filtration itself, filtration of waste itself, must have stopped at some point, you know? At some point, the creatinine was creeping up, you know, probably 0.7, 0.8. It was ignored, was not seen, was not tested, and then kidney filtration stopped, right? So it goes like this. For those of you new to detox, the beginning stages of you know, disease, or you know, the health of tissue in the body, and this also goes for a level of lymphatic congestion in the body. There's always the acute level, the beginning, not really too much action going on. Usually there's like hyperactivity of a gland or a cell or tissue or organ or system. You know, hyperactivity is not as serious as when it reaches hypo, which is chronic. So these are the stages: is acute, subacute. Subacute, you'll usually find levels of pain and inflammation in this stage. You'll usually see the production of like yellow or orange mucus at that stage, maybe some green. When it reaches the chronic stage, then you'll see green or brown mucus. Then you'll experience debilitating symptoms of 6 months or longer, usually with chronic cases and chronic illnesses, and that'll also be reflective in the eyes. When you see acute level of weakness in the eyes, usually it's very light colored, or if it's congestion, it'll be white, or maybe a light colored brown, things like that, different shades depending on what eye color you see that you're analyzing. And then when it comes to chronic stages in brown eyes, it'll be chronic brown shading, or if it's a weakness in and of itself, it'll be a dark color, lesion or lacuna or line or crypt or any weakness like that, right? So that's the progression. At some point, this person had an acute level of weakness, right? And then it moved to subacute chronic degenerative. However, like we said before, they could have had a genetic weakness, genetic past. You definitely have to see this person's genetic family history in order to be able to tell if this is a serious issue. Now, if I looked at this person's eyes, and most likely I will see darkness in the kidney region, at this point I would most likely recommend a kidney glandular, because at this point it's like, okay, you know, life or death situation, you are really up against time here. In that case, I would recommend a kidney glandular. Now, if you're someone that does have time to waste, your issues are not that serious, and you want to do it all herbs, then go ahead, you can do the all herbs. But in this situation, I would definitely recommend herbs and glandulars be used at the same time. Now, going back to our discussion, what stopped the kidneys from filtering when it was at those earlier stages? That's what we have to ask ourselves, because what I often see is the adrenal glands are often affected. The adrenal glands lie right on top of the kidneys, exactly on top of the kidneys. And if these kidneys are so acidic that they've broken down, you can best believe that the adrenal glands have been affected, because it's like a little cap. It's like a little cap that the kidneys wear. You know, the acids are affecting the adrenal glands as well. So we have to address the adrenals, whether that's with an adrenal herbal formula or an adrenal glandular. That'll be depending on the person's level of weakness and also their blood pressure. What I often see, the measure of blood pressure is important too. In these cases of kidney failure, you usually see that bottom number be very low, you know? So in the beginning, blood pressure will look like high blood pressure. The bottom diastolic number will usually be around the 80s or 90s if your kidneys are starting to break down. Once they've already broken down to this stage, they're usually down in the 40s and 50s, and that is not good. That means your kidneys are already have reached level of deterioration, right? So you'll also have to see what that top number looks like, the systolic number. That is representative of the adrenal gland health of the body. So you want that top number to be 120 through 130. 120 over 60 is what is considered healthy blood pressure. That's considered textbook. You know, doctors and medical industry considers 120 over 80 to be normal. That's not normal, because already that bottom number, it's like they're setting you up for kidney failure. This whole society is set up for kidney failure with the diet that's recommended, and even the comparative, like, you know, what's considered normal for blood and for weight, and, you know, for all these different levels, and for blood pressure especially, you know. So that's what you want to see. Now, as you begin to heal the kidneys, you know, that top number will also change as well. But you always want to monitor your blood pressure when you're dealing with kidney weakness. So check your blood pressure and see how you're doing. Check it different ways too. Check it laying down, standing up. Check it when you're relaxed, because that can be completely different. And check it on both arms, because the left side, if you check it on your left arm, that, you know, indicates the health of the left side of your body. The right arm, the right side of your body. Left kidney and adrenal, right kidney and adrenal, you know. So there you'll know, right there with your blood pressure, you will know what side is failing you the most and what side to go after. So yeah, there's a lot to be said about the kidneys and kidney failure. Now, we did speak a little bit about the blood levels, blood test results. During detox, this is completely normal. Let me see. No, you didn't mention like anything about the blood. But I see this all the time with clients, guys. Some people freak out when it comes to blood work during detox. Blood work will go up and down, up and down in the midst of a detox symptom or a healing crisis, or in the middle of your detox journey, or even if you're just starting out with your detox and you decide to get blood work after you start changing your diet, you will see blood levels go everywhere. Now, what blood levels I'm talking about is proteins, urea, nitrogen, all those things, buns, those things you want to be low. As a raw foodist and someone that's detoxing, those levels should be low, and it would make sense because you've taken away all of the inflammatory foods from your diet and rich animal product or even plant-based product sources of proteins. That's what you want, because proteins always equals to inflammation and acids in the body. They have no place in the body. I cannot stress that enough, especially in people that are already compromised and that have weaker constitutions and that already have a genetic kidney weakness and colon and genetic colon weaknesses. Proteins must be cut out for the health of the human body after detox, as well as during detox. They have no place. Carbohydrates are much more essential for the body, and like I said before, amino acids are found everywhere in every type of food, so you're already covered with the protein there, because the body uses amino acids and restructures it into a usable protein. A protein taken from a meat or an animal byproduct is not usable by the body. Body has to use so much energy to break it down, to digest it, to cut all those little amino acids into small little separate components and then restructure it back together. So that I felt the need to say that is blood work will go all over the place, but you do want to see low levels of proteins in the blood tests and blood results. Especially the bun. Your bun should be low. Now, we discussed the potassium, right? You can't stay away from it. But something else that I also see is the phosphorus. Like we said before, I said with the urea, the nitrogen, the proteins, those levels should be low. Phosphorus should also be low in the blood, because like I said, phosphorus, that acidic element, is found in meats. Now, on top of that, we discussed the adrenal glands just from that little, rant there. But there are other things that control the filtration of the kidneys as well. Adrenals, that's a given, right on top of the kidneys. But the pituitary gland is also a given, because the pituitary produces its own hormones that regulate adrenal function, that regulate kidney function, right? So you want to check to see if you have a pituitary gland weakness. Oftentimes we see people, if they're very tall in height or very short in height. So for females, it's usually if you're shorter than 5'6", or if you've had menstrual cycle issues or irregular bleeding or excessive bleeding, or if you got your menstrual period too early in life, like 10, 11, 12, things like that, then most likely you'll have a pituitary gland weakness. Another thing that points to a pituitary weakness is having several symptoms of several gland weaknesses in your body, So if multiple glands are down in your body, more often than not, you have a pituitary gland weakness. So, but the surefire way to check to see if you have a pituitary weakness is to just look at your eyes through iridology. So especially for this person's case, I would highly recommend working with me one-on-one, because this is all just like speculation, like if you see this sign, if you see that sign, So this is certainly something that you want to work with a detox specialist one-on-one to get to the root cause of the problem and to navigate these detox symptoms and these detox waters, right? So check for pituitary gland weakness. For males, the height will look, you know, around, if you're over like 6 feet or over, that's pretty tall, you most likely have pituitary weakness. If you're shorter than 5'8", I would say, then you most likely have a pituitary weakness as well. So males should be around between 5'8" to 5'10", and females should be, you know, around above 5'6", you know. So that's how you know if you have pituitary weakness. But on top of that, if this person has many brain lesions, you know, this person didn't tell me too many other symptoms that they have going on, or nothing about their history. So, you know, it would be useful to have more information. But oftentimes I also see people that have many brain lesions as seen in the eyes, or things like headaches, or, you know, sensory, olfactory, you know, weaknesses, or things like ear infections, or, you know, a blurred vision, acne, rashes on the face, anything to do with the head or the face region, then most likely you'll have brain lesions. And that's especially important because the hypothalamus gland exists in the brain, you know. That hypothalamus gland calls the shots when it comes to the pituitary gland, and it controls the pituitary gland. So you can see how it's a domino effect, a domino reaction of, if the hypothalamus is down, then the pituitary is down. If the pituitary is down, then the adrenal glands are down. If the adrenal glands are down, then the kidneys are down. If the kidneys are down, then the kidneys start to deteriorate, you know. Now, just because this is like the worst case scenario that someone can have, is all those glands being down, it doesn't mean that you have to have all those weaknesses in order to have a kidney weakness. Because like we said before, kidney weakness can just be created just by a kidney weakness, having a kidney weakness in and of itself, right? And the lymph system just being extremely stagnated in that area. So something that this person should check for, you know, is how their other surrounding organs are doing, you know. With kidney weakness, you often see things like tumors and cysts developing in the body if they already haven't had a history of that. That's very common. At the same time, reproductive organs start to fail, you know. Male prostate problems is, you know, always very common, notorious. People have you know, prostate issues. If it's a female, they usually will have fibroids in their uterus, or ovarian cysts, or you know, endometriosis, things like that, and issues like that. On top of that, the kidneys, if you have kidney weakness, kidneys not filtering, the colon is often affected as well, since it's all in that same region of the body. So, you know, you want to check the state of your colon, and you also want to be eliminating from your colon to be able to address all the obstructions within that area affecting the kidneys themselves. So you want to see mucoid plaque, you want to see mucus come out of your body and your stools. You want to see everything, parasites, you know, from meat eating and years of meat eating. You want to see all that stuff come out. Especially if you're not self-urinating yet, you need to be alleviating obstructions and acids in some way. So through the skin, through skin brushing, through going to the sauna, essential. That'll relieve a lot of pressure on the kidneys from, you know, not being able to filter as of yet, but you'll still be moving lymph in that way, right? Then you'll also want to get outside. Do deep breathing in fresh air, fresh clean air, and do deep breathing often every single day. That'll help move and pump the lymph system within the chest, and you'll be able to expectorate mucus out of the chest, out of the throat, out of the sinus region, all those things. If the throat is congested, the skin is impacted, so you'll be able to alleviate a lot of acids through the skin once the thyroid gland starts to pick up and function again. So everything is interlaced and connected with each other. The colon, like we said, must be addressed as well. So you should be taking things like the stomach and bowel formula and the GI broom to ensure that you're having consistent bowel movements, 3 to 4 bowel movements a day at least, when you're on a raw diet especially, because you don't want to be moving up and stirring up all these wastes in your body and not seeing obstructions and old stools and old matter being removed from your colon. Otherwise, it'll just be, circulating all over through the body, and you don't want that. That can cause many issues as well. Acids being dug up from deep within the tissue and having nowhere to go. That's also not, that's also not safe, because you can experience extreme detox symptoms from that as well. So elimination is the name of the game when it comes to detox, right? For your herbal protocol, what I'm seeing, and for your diet protocol, like we said before, melons, berries, subacid fruits, and sweet fruits. You can have some citrus, but I would really focus on watermelons and grapes at this point. They're going to be the most beneficial at healing the kidneys and the adrenal glands themselves, okay? When it comes to the herbs, like I said, you want to check for every single weakness in your eye and corresponding in your symptoms. And that's where I would come in. I would be able to help you with that. I would be able to see what your eyes look like and match that with your symptoms and your health history and your genetic history and anything else that may have happened in the past, whether you were exposed to medications or surgeries or anything like that. These are little hints and clues that let me know what the root causes are of your disease conditions, so that we can address them with the perfect healing protocol for you, right? But yeah, definitely address all those things. And you want to right now, don't pump the lymph system at this point with the herbs, not aggressively anyways, because you're not filtering yet. But once you've achieved the self-producing of urine, producing urine on your own, then you'll be able to, if you're on dialysis or not, you didn't specify, but either way, you know what to do. So start off slowly with lymph herbs if that's the case, but then if you are producing urine, you can hit it harder and check to see if you have kidney filtration. At least, in this case, I would say check every day if you can, or at least several times a week, because you want to see thick sediment. Now there are several other recommendations that we could possibly make, but that'll be based on your weaknesses. And as far as other things that I can possibly recommend, detox tools are fantastic in this situation. So I would probably recommend doing hot and cold therapy. If you can apply hot water in the shower as hot as you can handle and cold water in the shower as cold as you can handle, then that will start moving and pumping the lymph system and alleviating acidosis within the kidney region. And also in this case, I would most likely recommend castor oil packs. Castor oil is very soothing and anti-inflammatory and can help pump and move the lymph system as well. So I would put castor oil packs on the kidneys themselves to help alleviate that acidosis, and then you'll be able to find some healing from that. So this and other detox tools like it, I usually recommend in consultations with people after analyzing all their eyes. So that's why I urge you, anyone out there, if you are suffering from chronic issues, it doesn't have to be to this extent, but anything else that you have no idea what's causing it and you've gone down every single path, I'm here to tell you detoxification is the best. It's the number one healing route that anyone can possibly take, because you're truly addressing the root cause with diet and with herbs, and magical things happen. Healing and regeneration like you didn't know was possible is what's possible with detoxification. So yeah, so if any of you out there want to work with me one-on-one, you can go to www.spiritropicalhealing.com, and in the services tab, I have the Master Your Health package. That's the package that I recommend to people that are interested in working with me, with my clients. It brings a consultation one-on-one where I take you through every single weakness that I saw in your eyes, and we discuss everything, your diet and herbal protocol. Along with the consultation, I also include a written up diet protocol and an herbal protocol, telling you exactly how many times a day you need to take the herbs, the dosages, all those things. And also included with that is an iridology report, a handwritten iridology report that is very detailed and breaks down every single weakness in your body. That's something that you can have forever, and that's like your map to your body. In that way you can even see things that are occurring right now but could possibly be health issues that could manifest themselves in the future. So in this way, you'll be able to prevent things like that from happening. It's quite useful. And I've worked with people young and old. I've worked with babies from like the age of 1 and younger to people that are very old in their 90s. So detox is for everyone, and it's never too late, and it's never even too early to start. The human body is fairly simple and responds very positively to this correct diet and the true healing medicine of the planet, which is herbs. So I hope I was able to answer that question and that concern in full detail. It's very possible to come out of this. I've seen it, and I've helped clients personally work themselves out of these situations, out of kidney failure and out of dialysis with the raw foods. And this should be stated: you want to source the most powerful raw foods and produce that you can possibly find. I know some people, they don't live in the best of areas where you kind of have to purchase the foods that are in your local supermarket, and sometimes they can be like not of the best quality, but you do the best you can. And if you do have access to farmers markets or tree ripened fruits, then you go that way, because the healing effects are much more powerful, and the magnetics of the fruits that are fresh and organic are going to be superior to that of fruit that has been sitting around in the supermarket for weeks and weeks and may even be months old, So that's the reality of it. But no matter what, you do the best you can with the situation that you're given, and just know that all fruit is better than no fruit. Raw foods is better than no raw foods. So just do the best. And thank you guys if you've reached the end of this video. I really enjoyed talking to you guys about this topic. As you can tell, detox is a passion of mine. So passionate about it because I myself suffered with disease conditions, chronic health issues for years, and I was in full body pain. Most of you may know my story already, but for those of you that are new to this channel, you'll want to read about my story. That's on my website. I had fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, endometriosis, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, severe sensitivities and allergies, a huge list of hundreds and hundreds of symptoms that were overcome just by detoxing the body and getting to the root cause. So I have a true passion about this, and I feel a strong empathy for those that are suffering right now, which is why I really feel very compelled to continue making these videos to help you guys out. Take this information and know that health is in your hands, and that's what you have to do in this day and age. You have to take health back into your own hands, because no one else is going to help you. Doctors will not help you. They don't understand the human body fully, unfortunately, and they were definitely not taught enough about diet in their schooling. And there's a definite, it's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's definite correlation between the diet that we consume and the health of our bodies. Anyone that says no is crazy, is absolutely crazy. I'm pretty sure so many of you have already realized that obviously, like, even if you eat a meat diet, lean chicken is going to be healthier than beef, obviously, or if any of you have done things like, if you've done raw foods, that like a fruit juice feels better on your digestion than like a high fatty raw meal, obviously. So it's all about digestive energy. How simple can you make your digestion? If you save your digestive energy, then all that energy can go into healing your body and removing obstructions and healing of the tissue. It's amazing how the human body works and what it's capable of, the regenerative capabilities of the body. If detox is strong enough to regenerate the nerves, to regenerate the spine and the brain and make those brain lesions disappear, then essentially it can address everything, you know, and that cannot be said about any other healing modality out there. Mostly everything else is just getting rid of, you know, the major inflammatories, you know, or just like the major sensitivities. It's not enough to just eliminate animal products. It's not enough just to eliminate gluten out of the diet. Not enough. You have to dig in deep if you want to see regeneration. You know, detox is the answer. So thank you guys for watching the rest of this video. If you got to the end, I love you all so much. I hope you're doing so well on your detox journeys, and I'll talk to you guys soon in the next video. If you like this video, leave a like. If you're new to this channel, subscribe for more detox healing content. I do try to come out with regular videos every single week, and I have many articles posted on my website as well as on Instagram. All that information can be found down below, and use that and enrich yourself with this detox knowledge, and there's nothing you can't heal. Okay, talk to you later, guys. Love you. Take care. Bye.